All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. This is Mr. Nice with Kung Fu Fanta, and today is Monday, 4 September 2023. Welcome, the Fanta family. And again, I have special guest Kenyan living abroad in Poland. And today we want to talk about Kenya land ownership. There's a lot of misconception out there. There's a lot of American scammers coming over, mainly in like not Uganda, but Ghana, as well as the Gambia, and they're scamming other Americans, selling them a dream of land and not giving them the up and up on what is legal and what is not. And that's also happened here in Kenya a little bit. Actually, one person came from Burkina Faso, an American, to Kenya, and then was kicked out of the country after being here for a couple of years. I see Brenda Jimenez. Thank you for coming in. And I also see Okay, Let's Go. Thank you as well for coming in. I think this is going to be a very important segment a very important live stream, because a lot of people don't get this information. And then a lot of this information is on YouTube that we're going to get here today. But, the information is kind of scattered. And my hand goes out to those people who have already done what we're going to do here tonight. But it's always good to have this conversation so it gets more awareness out there to people who might be coming to Kenya and being sold a pipe dream, and then find out that they can't own what they thought they can own. They ended up getting something like leasehold instead of freehold, and you have to be a citizen, and this is what you can get if you're not a citizen. And so all that information kind of gets a little bit murky. And so what we want to do today with Kenyan living abroad, we want to kind of like break up that mind fog that people are being preached about online from these American scammers, usually that sometimes work with locals and then rip people off, or they just give information because they just want people to hear them and talk. So Kenyan living abroad, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Kufu Fanta, Mr. Nice. And this is Kenyan living abroad. I am a Kenyan living in Poland. I am a YouTuber too. And I'm here to discuss with my brother about land ownership and anything entailing land issues. So if you have any questions preceding what we have talked about, or you have anything to ask, you're free to ask, and we will try as much as possible to answer you. But also remember, I am not a registered real estate agent. I will give you my experience working, quote unquote, as a real estate agent who is not qualified to be in the sector. So my limitations will be only towards what I will speak today is only limited to my own knowledge. So, and also remember that law in Kenya changes in time to time. So we will have some variations, maybe on things that I will speak, which I'll be willing to be corrected, but I will try as much as possible. I was working as a real estate agent from the year 2012 to the year 2018. So I have a wide experience, but I will try my best, and we will use some websites from other companies too to boost our energy or our report. We just give enough information about what we know about owning land in Kenya. And also, being a Kenyan, I ought to know the laws about regarding only not land but other aspects too. So I'm a bit vast in that knowledge, but I wouldn't guarantee 100% on what I will say. But this is my true and my own reservations and thoughts about what is about land ownership in Kenya. Thank you for the introduction.
Okay, and I also want to say hello to a few more people that are showing up in the chat. Namaste Z, RNM, and did we get anybody else? Not yet, but we got 7 people, watching us now. We got 5 likes. If we could get another couple likes for the other people that are here, please do so now. And also, just to let you know that I also own not property but land in Kenya, so therefore I'm a little bit of an authority. And my wife has worked for a company as an agent, no longer does. And so therefore, we have freehold land, and we're going to get into that a little bit deeper. So go ahead and take over, Kenyan living abroad. Let's do this.
Okay, so in the first information, first, if you want to know about land ownership in Kenya, if you are a foreigner or a citizen or a company or a government institution, you are allowed to own land in Kenya. First, that's the first step we have to know, that a citizen, a foreigner, a company, or a government entity, or even an organization can own land in Kenya. But we will be putting in groups on those in various land forms they will be falling into. So I just broadly inform you that anybody in Kenya can own land in Kenya, but some land will be owned by citizen and some land can be owned by foreigners. Some land foreigners cannot own. So we will be going deeper into this discussion about which type of land can you own. So the first land that the types of land that we have in Kenya, we have public land, we have community land, and we have individual land. So it's categorized into three: public, community land, and individual land. So in these three categories first that we will speak about, I don't know if you can go a little bit down to confirm this. Okay, you see this is community land, and then there is, I think in this website they didn't write public land. So public land, which is public land? Public land will be land that is owned by the government. This is land that is owned by the wildlife society, Kenya Wildlife Services. This is the area that is protected for wildlife. And also we have like where the army stays. This is public land. Schools, hospitals that are owned by government, schools, and any institution like schools. And also in Kenya, remember that we have parastatals. These are companies that are owned by the government of Kenya. So this is also part of the public land. But also in this type of public land, they have limitations to their usage. They can be public land, but not for everyone. Like let's give for example, Kenya Ports Authorities is a public entity. It's a parastatal. It is owned by the government. So at the Kenya Ports Authorities at the harbor in Mombasa, that's a public land. Anybody with permission can visit that place. So you see, you need the permission. And more so, they have residential homes for the workers. So that even makes it's public but private. It is only meant for the workers. So you only go there with the permission of the worker. So those are the limitations that we can speak about on public land. And then community land, for anybody who has gone to Kenya or has seen anything about Kenya, you will be seeing vast land in the areas of like Masamburu, Masai land. You just see vast empty land that is owned by nobody. And amazing thing, you see Masai people walking inside, grazing their animal. No one stops them. No one tells them what to do with the land. They can build anything there. Those are community land. It is owned by that community. It is part and parcel of that community. So if you're using that land, you can either use it as a Kenyan. You're allowed also to walk and to live anywhere. You can live anywhere. But if you go to a place where there is a community land, you have to involve yourself with the chief area, which a long time it was the trust land board. You have to go to the trust land board. You have to go to the community, and the community to take you to the land trust board so that they can include you in that community. So that's about community land. Now, private land. These are the land that now people, Kung Fu Fanta just talked about, the one that people are getting scammed in. In private land, we have leasehold title farms, land, and we have freehold title land farm. So with freehold, it is similar to community land. Yes, freehold, this is the most common part of private ownership. It gives an individual or a group of people absolute claim of piece of land for a lifetime. In freehold land ownership, an individual can down the land to their descendant, and a person can use free to use the land as it pleases. So in this land, you can build a house, but also in building a house, you have limitations. If it's a story building, not more than two floors, like I don't want to give example today, but let's just say a land that give that is below 2 floors, you can be granted actually before it was you could be granted to do a land, but I think the law changed. Now anything above 1 floor, you need to have requisite papers from the Ministry of I think it's, I don't remember which ministry it is, but it is falling under a National Construction Authority. You have to get papers from them. They have to quantify the building that is suitable for human living. They have to see the structure of it. So there's that kind of information. But in Kenya, you will see some people building is it makeshift homes that can last for 30 years, 50 years. These are houses made from mud and sticks and maybe a little bit of iron sheets.
Yeah, constant
yes,
repair.
Yeah, that can need constant repair. So such houses don't need papers when you're building on a freehold land. So, and you can also farm in this land. You can do anything that you want to do with this land. You can subdivide it, but you are going to subdivide it using the land registry office. So with the leasehold now, this is why it's interesting. Leasehold, this is where the foreigners come in. If you're being sold a land that is freehold, you can be sold. I'm not saying you cannot be sold the land as a freehold land as a foreigner. You can be sold, but I will explain how the land can be sold to you as a freehold as a foreigner. But now the leasehold, this guarantees the foreigner 100% of ownership. Or by law, this one is where if you see a land that is leasehold, this is land that is common with the foreigners, and this land is only allowed to be owned for 99 years only. And when the years last, the 99, if you die, if you live for 99 years, well and good, you will need to replace that leasehold or sell it back to another entity, either the government, another private person or company, whatever, or another foreigner. So if you are still alive, you can pass it over to another person, or you can renew this land. And sometimes this bring problem in Kenya. I'm not plan to talk about it right now, but in Kenya this brings problem whereby after 99 years and this person maybe bought the land, and subsequently maybe the family doesn't know that the land is there and is a foreigner, it brings problems. Sometimes this land can cause a little bit of problem. We have many land in Kenya that has brought a little bit of problems, which were owned by ex-UK, ex-British government officers who are working, or business people who are working who stayed back. Because when we got independence, there are people who felt Kenya was home for them and never left Kenya. So after when they passed away or they decided to move back, they thought the land is nothing. Maybe it costed like 100,000, but right now the land is extremely expensive, and they forgot about it, and they maybe even gave it to, like there's some people who write the ownership to their pets, and this pet also doesn't stay for long, and this pet doesn't have the right transfer. So it creates legal obstacles whereby the government even finds hard to obtain that land. And I think that's where there's a body there's an authority that was created to take care of this. That if somebody happens to the property stays or money is not, or reclaim asset authority, that's the company, that's the parastatal reclaim asset authority. So asset reclaim authority, something like that. So that is the where such land were being been handled. So, and there's also this partial ownership where you can go into contract with the owner of the land. I might be a Kenyan, I wanted to lease you the land. I'll be able to go into partnership with you, and you partly own this land. So these are the type of land in terms of private partnership.
So we got a first question.
Yes.
It's on the screen for you.
Oh, regarding the price of land per acre, Rosa Jackson, price per acre. To be specifically honest with you, it will be a lie if I give you a price on that, because the price of land vary from the location. We have is not only location. Yeah, location. Is it next to the city center? Is it next to the river? And is it next to public amenities? Is it next to maybe a wildlife park where you can put a hotel? So the price would range on those figures. Right now, I know some land that cost even about 80,000 will be about $700.
Probably close to that.
Yeah,
Right now.
$700 for 1 acre piece of land, and this is in the eastern part of Rift Valley, and it's a very green area. But also, mind you, you can go to Maasai land, and you get this land costing for about 500,000. So, and this is a dry land area, but it depends, because maybe it's next to the national park, so the prices can go up. And also amenities like power, access to the road area. So there's a many factors coming in. If you buy land in Nairobi, also just the city of Nairobi, it is one city. You may expect the price will be the same, but it is not the same. Upper Hill in Nairobi, at the heart of the city, is one of the most expensive real estate in Africa. I think apart from Joburg and Cape Town and Cairo, Nairobi goes in, I think, fourth, and I think Ethiopia goes fifth, and I think Lagos goes sixth, something like that. I'm not sure about these numbers, but and then there's another place like Mavoko County. This is at the border of Machakos County and Nairobi County. This is like extreme end of the city. That's like 30 minutes drive. It may cost because actually land cost like 1 billion Kenyan shillings. That's around $1 million dollars, about 1 point something million dollars in the heart of city. That is in Nairobi. That's Upper Hill. But if you go to Mavoko, the land cost might cost you about 1.5 million, and that or even 500, even 1 million, and that variation matters, and it's just only 30 minutes. If you go to that is the eastern part of Kenya, of Nairobi. The western part of Nairobi also, we have areas like Ngong. You can take a train. Now there's a lunatic train. It's not a lunatic. The SGR, the new train that was built by the previous government, it passes there. You can get an acre for about 500 to 600. I don't know, 400 to 600. Let's say 400 to 600. Maybe you can check on. I'm not promoting them, but you can check on AGM realtors. They work with I think Afro-Jamaican and African traveler. So
yeah, it is AMG.
yes,
It was the same one that Chams Media interviewed.
Yes, they are very honest, and that place is very good. And the government, when they were digging the hill out, they struck in water, and now the water flows to the community and it's offered to the community, and it's pure water. And I heard it's very fresh water. I'm even planning to get land there, because right now I can't manage to get I can't manage the prices in Nairobi. So, and it's fairly not far from the city. And now that with the new super highway that you can pay the toll, it will be easier to get to Nairobi. I can use the train or the super highway.
Yeah, isn't the second line of the SGR is going through that area?
Yes. It's
okay.
it passes through that area.
Okay.
And actually, before it was like even like 10 years ago, you could get the land at 80,000, but right now it's like 500, even 50. My dad was like telling me there was one time he was offered 50,000 for an acre for about 50 acres, and he just let it slide. But now it was going to cost him, I don't know, 2.5 million for 50 acres, and now he can't even it pains him sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, and also real quick,
Yes.
I don't know if you already touched on this, but between freehold and leasehold, let people know the tax part of that. Are you going to pay
Oh,
tax on freehold or leasehold? Let's answer that question because I know somebody at some point is thinking about that.
oh, okay. I forgot about that. With the taxes, now all land pay taxes. In what essence? When you're purchasing this land is a purchase. So it's not on this website, but I will explain because I have it. I still know the process. So when you're buying a freehold or a leasehold or the government announced to defunct the land from public use to private use, like for people to build, because it happens sometimes. Somebody decides in the government that we can sell public land, maybe land that was owned by parastatal can be sold to the community or the people or companies. So I'll go back to this question. So with the freehold, when you're buying, that's when you pay the taxes, also the leasehold. But now Kenyans are very lucky. I don't know if it's other countries is like this, but I know in the States, if you own land, you have to pay taxes every year. So with freehold, by the name freehold, you're holding this land for free. So you just buy, you pay the stamp duty. It's called stamp duty, and there's land tax. I think so, about 1%, and that is it. You will never ever pay for tax for that land. So if that land was owned by your parents, you can maybe pay for stamp duty to transfer to your name, but you will never pay tax for it, or you can even leave it. Like us, we have land that is owned by my grandfather, and my grandfather died in 1996. We've never paid for that land, and we have never wanted even to transfer the name. So for freehold by his name, you don't pay taxes, but for the leasehold, you pay taxes. And now the leasehold, now it depends. If you're in Nairobi, let's compare. If you're in Nairobi, you expect to pay more than a town like Meru, maybe a town like Eldoret, a town like even Mombasa. Like, I think Nairobi should be the most expensive because it's the capital city. So every municipality, but now it's not. It used to be called municipality. It was owned by municipality. Now it's county government. So every county government have their different way of giving taxes on the land. I don't know how much percentage they put for this local government, but there is a tax on this leasehold. So every year you pay just one amount, and actually it's not really a lot. Like we own a land in the city of Mombasa, and it's in a prime area. It's in the Nyali district, and we pay about 11,060. Is it? It was 11. It's 11,400. Yes, we pay 11,400 for this land, and this is like a quarter acre.
And that's about approximately about $100 a year at this point.
Yes,
with the exchange rate.
That's about $100, about maybe $92, like something like that.
Mhm.
Is it 92? Yeah.
Well, I don't have it in front of me,
About,
but
yeah.
yeah.
I'm not actually accurate with it right now.
You have a question on the board.
Yeah. Now, Steve, that's a very good question. Ancestral land, I can sell you my land as a foreigner, which now as ancestral land, it depends. There's community land, and there's also this freehold. This freehold can be ancestral land. And ancestral land is land that is in Kenya. The problem in Kenya we have is not, I don't think it's a problem. It's the way the Kenya is structured. So in Kenya, we have 47 counties, and we have around 46 tribes. So practically in every county, you will find one dominant tribe. Yes, in one county you'll find, like if you go to Kisumu, the dominant tribe is Luo. If you go to Kakamega, Busia, there's a group of tribes called the Luya. These are the dominant tribes. If you go to Kisii County, the dominant tribe is Kisii. If you go to Kericho, the dominant tribe is Kipsigis. If you go to Nandi now, because it's now cluster in the former defunct land Rift Valley, these are the Kalenjin, which the current president comes from. And if you go to the coast, these are owned by the coastal people. The dominant tribe will be. So somehow we are still in tribal cocoons, in small tribal little countries into one, as called Kenya. That's how it was structured. It's because of political and everything. So I can sell you land as a foreigner, but the limitation is you have to be a citizen first. That could be the first incident. You can work on to become a citizen, or I can sell you land and I become your trustee, but it doesn't make sense for me to sell you land and I become a trustee. It means that I can kick you out of the land. So you need to get somebody else who can be like a lawyer to be your trustee, or your friend, or any citizen you wish to stand for you. I can sell you the land on that basis to hold you to be a trustee. So to be a trustee, you can hold the land as a trustee. You can own the land as a trustee, but it doesn't have your name, and that's where I don't know what the government is thinking about it, because there are many laws that are supposed to be changed, because this also creates the same problem that I talked about, that sometimes this land ownership might disappear. It might become obsolete. The land will be there, but the ownership is obsolete. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you're the land owner is no longer. We call them absentee landlords. That's the name. In the real estate, they call them absentee landlords. The landlords who own the land, but they're no longer there. Either they died, or they just left, or they forgot about the land, or they just got frustrated about the land and left. So that is the absentee. So another way you can buy land from me as a Kenyan, or from a central land, is to buy it through a company, a Kenyan company, which also the law says if you are having a company in Kenya, one of the director has to be a Kenyan with some percentage.
Yeah, so citizenship plays a big role in owning land, period.
Yes.
In the country of Kenya. I mean,
So,
it's very, the law is very defined on that.
Yeah, you can just come and buy land easily. It has some complication. And another person that is on. I mentioned. I just answered Steve E. Let me go to. Do I have an interesting question?
Well, yeah, Rosa Jackson's got something else to say there.
Curious about the land price. I talked about that, and I saw somebody said many Chinese are buying land. Yes, they are buying the land through companies, and also because they have the big money and the government gives them money to do, and the business makes sense in Kenya. So we happen to have a lot of Chinese. They came to build the road and they saw the opportunity, because Africa, there's a lot of opportunity. If in Kenya, if you have the means of money, then you can push your money further. And then also, let me go back to Rosa Jackson. Is it like a communal ownership? Yes, it is owned by many people. Is it like a communal ownership where the land is owned by a group or a vice or an individual? Communal land ownership is owned by the community. These are people even from the same tribe, or even this, maybe friends decide to buy land and decide this land will never sell it. We'll put a football field, we'll put a hop stall. That is owned by you cannot own it by yourself. You cannot own it by yourself. So that's the first question. Fellow and Mayugona got land as a foreigner. Now, namaste. Fellow is a Kenyan because he said he's from Western, so he's a Kenyan. A Kenyan can buy land anywhere.
Machakos.
Originally. He said from Machakos? Oh, okay. So
according to Carol, yes. He said something in a video that he's originally from Machakos and moved to Nambahanzi.
Okay. So he can buy land. In Kenya, if somebody tells you cannot buy land, you could take them to court. As a Kenyan, you could take them to court. It's illegal to block somebody from buying land. And he said Mayugno. I saw Mayugno with a Kenyan ID when he was taking his flight. So how is connected to, because if you have a Kenyan ID, that means you're a citizen. either you are a dual citizen, because in Kenya you can be a dual citizen, and you can be an American citizen, and you can be also a Kenyan citizen at the same time, and there's nothing bad against it. But I'm not speaking for my, I'm just talking because I saw him with the ID. So Kenyan ID with Elisha Fred, that name he had, and his picture I saw, that was like he's a Kenyan. So if he has that ID, he could, even if I don't want to squash him, but if he has the ID and the number is valid, he could do anything. He could pay taxes, he could buy a car, and I think that's why he's doing whatever he's doing with ease. So he might be even a Tanzanian born in Kenya, and the law regards any person born in Kenya, because you know how to become a Kenyan. You can become a Kenyan by birth, just being born in Kenya. Even if you are American and you get to Kenya and your parents decide, or you decide to give birth to your kid in Kenya, that kid is recognized as a Kenyan first. And another way you can become a Kenyan, if you're a foreigner, you can come to Kenya and you can become a Kenyan through naturalization. Just becoming a citizen, just becoming maybe you are working in the companies in Kenya, you're paying your taxes and everything. About 7 years, you could apply for your citizenship, and you will be granted for it. Actually, the thing is that you will be granted for it. In Kenya, they just don't want anybody who is bad. But if you are free, you don't have problem, 100% they will give it to you. And another way you can become a Kenyan, you can become a Kenyan through marriage. Yes, marriage. That was what I was remembering. You can become a Kenyan through marriage, and this ways can guarantee you to own land in Kenya with ease. And not only land, own land in Kenya. Some services have been deducted for Kenyans, like ongoing students from primary to secondary. In primary, the education is fully paid, but I don't know, sometimes there's some charges, like they tell you to buy books and this or whatever. But if you're a citizen, you will not pay for tuition fee to go to the schools. Even now, they are talking about paying for tertiary education. Like if you want to do a mechanic course, what Mayugno is doing, the masonry, he could go to school and be paid for free, and the government even give him money for pocket money. And those are benefits. If you go to the national park, I know Kung Fu, maybe if you are in Kenya, you went to the national park, you saw there was a prize for foreigners, and then those prize for Africans, and those prize for East Africans.
Yes,
and
yeah, that's pretty much everywhere you go. Whether if it's
it's everywhere.
The museum, you go to the Giraffe Center.
Yes.
Even there's a outside the immigration building in the parking lot, there's this little tiny museum that looks like a little tiny house. There's different prices there, so you always have the foreign price, the resident price, which means it's probably somebody in Kenya going to school, so they got residency, or they're just living there for a little bit longer. And then of course you got the citizen price. The citizen price is always going to be the lowest. The residential price is still pretty low, but then the foreign price will hike up 2 to 3 times higher than the resident price. So it's going to be like that everywhere you go. And it's I have not seen that price structure. Even if you go up into the KICC building, for the last time I was there, it was 200 for a citizen, 300 for the residency, and I think it was either 400 or 500 for foreigner.
Yeah, foreigners.
Which is not bad to go up to the top of the building, but
Yes, and do you know why this was made? Because I see a lot of people from YouTube complaining about this price structure.
Yeah.
Because before 2000 and I think maybe, let's say the new government, this is the third president, when he came in, Kenyans were even finding it hard to go to hotels to eat, big hotels like Sarova, White Sand. You could go to the coastal line of Kenya. In the hotels, it was just tourists from abroad, from China, from England, from Germany, from Poland, everywhere. Everyone was coming from every country, China, everywhere. Just talk about anywhere, America, anywhere. You will go to an hotel, and if you decide to pay for yourself to go to this hotel, you will feel out of space. And the government decided, a deliberate action was made to lower the price, to entice the African Kenyan to take up advantage of these amenities. So
Okay.
that's why the prices were reduced. It's not about discrimination, guys. The real price is what you're supposed to be paying, but the price that Kenyans are paying, it is discounted. But still, it is discounted, and it is sad that even Kenyans, even before the ongoing, there's a company known as Bonfire Ventures. I think you know them.
Yes.
Before even them, Kenyans were not going back. We were not going to see Hell's Gate. We have very beautiful fauna, flora and fauna. We have beautiful. You can imagine if the only way you could go to national park was through school trips. Me, I went through school trips to Savo National Park. I went to Garissa with tour. I went to Watamu. I went to Gede Ruins. I went to Fort Jesus. This is courtesy of schooling. Only place I think my parents took me was Shimoni Caves, where the slave trade was happening. Fort Jesus, and which other one did the KPA, the old Kenya Ports Authorities. I can't remember other places my father took me and my mom, but most of the tourist attractions, it was through school. That was through primary when I was in Mombasa studying. And when I went to the secondary school, I went to Lake Bogoria, Lake Baringo. We went to Kisumu. No. I went to Kisumu later when I'd finished school. Even I was doing business. That was Kisumu. This is like a zoo. I forgot the name. I don't know. Wildlife sanctuary. Yeah, it was sanctuary. Right? Yeah. And then
RNM put a statement. I got her statement up there.
okay.
Do you want to respond to that? It's not a question. She's just giving information.
Okay. People should take steps. Still take steps. Probate the land registry etc. to update title to the current hearing to hold the land from departure. Previous owner, especially important when selling land to non-family. Oh, okay. Yes, when you are buying land, I was going to come to this. If you are buying land in even anybody, even if it's your friend, you have to do thorough due diligence. You have to go to the location. And when I'm talking about, because I used to advise people, you have to go to the location, know the people who are living there, because if it's land on fraud, the people will tell you this land is on fraud, and they will tell you, please don't even go next to it. So that could be your first red flag being given by people around that place. And then you need to go to the map registry office, which is under sometimes it's under the land registry, but sometimes the office will find them at the county government, because the county also has to work together. So you have to go to the land registry and find the land on the title, on the land that you've gone to on the map. If it's not on the map, that's another red flag. So that's how to do the due diligence. And then when you get the land on the map, the reference number on the map index will refer you to the green book at the land registry. The green, it's a green card where it has the entry of every owner who has owned that piece of land.
Yeah. Can you go to my is better?
So the green card has the entry of every owner that has owned that land, and this green card, when you go to it, you will follow. So if this person name doesn't appear, that land could be you are getting a red flag from that land. And then now the transfer has to be initiated by the land registry officer, and the transfer will be done to you, and the title deed will be processed. And long time, it used to even take a year, 6 to 1 year. But now, regarding the digitization of the land registry, because if you go to the land registry, you will find all files, and they have to remove all those files, check from the first day from 1963. It's not even 1963. It was from 1893. Some land have ownership from 1983. It was owned by the British government. Because Kenya was colonized by the British. Before the British, Kenya was owned by a company. You know, that's the weird stuff. Like sometimes when you talk about Kenyan history or East African history, it is very scary, because you can imagine one company own East Africa protectorate area.
And it's
This is
confusing as
Uganda.
well.
Yes, Uganda,
confusing.
Tanzania, and Tanzania later, Uganda, and Kenya, and part of Somalia. And that's why in Kenya you'll see some people who look like Somalis, and you'll be wondering what are they doing. No, they're not doing anything. They are part of Kenyan community. So we have some Kenyans who are Somalians, and we have Somalians who are also from Somalia.
Yeah, and I want to address already answered Brenda about how long does it take to be a citizen. So I want to add, since I've already gone through, the stages of that process. So there's two ways to do it. You can do it the route of not being married, which is a very expensive route, and that process is going to take 7 years. And you can do it the lesser expensive way, but it's still going to take 7 years, and that is to find somebody that you're going to be married to. But in both cases, and especially with the marriage part of it, they usually pertain it to the women marrying a foreign man opposed to the other way around. Is that the reason why they want 7 years in Kenya? I'm just speaking for Kenya. I can't speak for the other countries. The reason why they want 7 years and people think it's too long, well, to be honest, I don't think it's too long. They want to make sure that the woman, the Kenyan woman, her time is not being wasted by the man who's coming from somewhere else. So if he wants to become an actual citizen, dual or a singular citizen to that country, and renounce his other citizenship, he has to prove that it's not just the marriage is consummated. It's basically he has to prove that he's been with this person for that many years, and he's taken the marriage serious to one of their citizens. And I have to agree with that. And pretty much, when I was going through that process, I also read up on some other countries, and they're pretty much similar, in all honesty. Some countries you got to wait 15 years, like the Gambia in West Africa. It's like 15 years. The last time I had a conversation about it last year. So, yeah, that's the reason why. And also, we got another question here from Tando, Dr. Tando. If you look on the board, he's got something about tax identification he wants to know about.
Is tax identification number mandatory for land transaction? Yes. It's consistent from land. Is it consistent to the land board mandatory before any transfer is made? Now, there's go back to that question. Tando, in Kenya, you need to, the tax identification number is known as KRA PIN, Kenya Revenue Authority. If you are opening bank, you need that number. If you are selling your car, you need that number. Apart from other, we'll talk about on car ownership. So today we are talking of land, but let me just, this number is very crucial for many documentation you are going to do in Kenya in regards of transaction. Anything that will do transaction, you need that. And land board control, because long time it used to be called trust. It was something. It was local. I don't know, local or divisional district or something. Board control land. So such kind of land, these are the land that are on freehold. On freehold, you need to go to that land control board for verification, and also for the transfer to be effected. They have to give you the signature. They have to assess that land. So, but with the leasehold, you don't go to the land board control, and that is where even foreigners love, because you don't have this long process that takes years. You're a foreigner. You need to start things going on faster. So you will find it easier to buy land on leasehold. Sorry, but on freehold, these are the things that are involved. There's another question you had put. So I mentioned Dr. Tando. There's a question you put up. No, after Tando, you put after Tando. As you try and find it, I heard that if you're a Black American, you can come to Africa and become a citizen right away. Is that true? In Kenya, no. In Kenya, you have to wait for 7 years, and I think they want to introduce a new law. If you are here, please be, because even today was the first African environmental summit. It was been held in Nairobi by the president, and he said today in the media that because Kenya has the he has some politics that he's playing around, but he put it very well. He said Kenya has the oldest remains of human, and it seems that all humanity came from Kenya. And he said that the government is planning to remove visa restriction. I don't know if it's for all countries, it's for all black people. I do not know.
No,
But he said,
it was for the East Africa block of businesses, people who are entrepreneurs.
no,
That's what,
actually, I heard him saying many times that they are looking into the law to change. I think they want to abolish the visa.
just the visa period, or just
Yes,
for East Africa?
no, for East Africa, it's already abolished. If you're
Okay.
from East, even not even from East Africa, like I think about all the countries in Africa, you don't need,
Okay.
the other
Okay.
government had already abolished it, but I don't know if it was affected, but there is no, it's either you are coming on visa on arrival or you apply on e-citizen. But I think they said they want to abolish it. They said because the president said we are welcoming you home. This is your home, everyone. Either he said all humanity. So it's interesting. It's something to really watch about it. And there will be if they will abolish this, there will be a lot of influx in Kenya. And I know it looks, it might, some people complain it's bad and it's not good, but I think I know what the president is trying to do, because if you abolish the visa and people come in hundreds and they are bringing in new money, so the country will have a rise in the GDP. So I think that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, because right now it's like if you're a U.S. citizen, a Canadian citizen,
Yes.
or a Mexico citizen, between those three countries, all you need is your passport. You don't need a visa to go between all three.
Yes. So right now, if you're a Rwandese, actually many Rwandans right now are working in Kenya, either selling coffee on the street, groundnuts, and now they've moved into properties and everything, because also as a Kenyan, you don't need anything. You can go to Rwanda right now as a Kenyan and work without any documentation. Just you give out your ID and you're good to go. It's like you're in Kenya, you're back in Kenya. So the same as Rwandese, when they come to Kenya, they do the same. Also Uganda. It is Kenya, even the East African visa, it includes Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda. The Tanzanians, sometimes they find us to be a little bit rude. They say we are a bit rude. We are too much advanced for them, which they're our brothers, and we have the love-hate brotherhood with Tanzanians, and there's nothing bad. And the government of Kenya decided to move ahead with Uganda and Tanzania, but they're coming along because they own the office of the East African Community. They were the parliament and the East African Court is situated. It's in at the border of Kenya and Tanzania, but inside Tanzania, just around Arusha.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to answer also Gladys K. Freehold makes you an owner for property for life. Yes. You never own nothing in USA. Sad. And actually, sometimes when I've been moving out of the countries, I'm in Poland, I see how the land is not yours 100%, and you could easily lose it. Sometimes that scares me a lot. Sometimes it really makes me be proud to be a Kenyan. Not only as a Kenyan, but just to be proud that the government allowed us to own land for good. And
Right.
I find that could be, because you can imagine, Kufu Fanta, I was born by my family, and I found land with them. So it's not that makes me lazy, but I have an opportunity to have somewhere where I could start over life.
Right.
I'm already inheriting land from my great grandfather. That's mind-boggling, right? And it's not even small land. It's about
Kenya's got it really good though, because you go next door to Tanzania and nobody can own land. Everything is leasehold. Everything.
Yes. And just imagine, Kufu Fanta, I got land from my great grandfather, about 2.5 acres from my great grandfather. You can imagine.
Yeah, I can
From
imagine.
my great grandfather, I have 2.5 acres, and then from my grandfather, I have 5 acres, and then from my father, I have 2 acres, and then myself, I have 15. So sometimes I normally see, even right now when I'm in Poland, I see how people are living. Sometimes I feel like Ben, do you need some land? I can give you for free because I feel them. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
like you guys are suffering, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
KLA, you got
Yes.
15 acres. Can I take like a corner of one of those acres and just plant my own avocado tree and just come by every once in a while and pick some avocados?
Where I have the 15, it's not good for avocado. Maybe
I'm just joking.
no, I can give you, no problem. I wouldn't
No.
mind. I can give you a quarter. You are my friend.
Well, thank you very much. I
Yeah.
was just trying to crack a joke, to see if I can try to
Okay.
see if I could try to be funny on purpose, but
No problem. And let me go to Rosa Jackson.
Mhm.
So is it at a one-time deal? You pay taxes only at purchase? Yes. At a percentage? Yes. I think stamp duty is 1% or 1.5. When we were buying it, I bought it at 1.5%. You pay this amount of money and that is it. And then somebody said you like the question from Steve E. Yes. Rosa Jackson said, Gladys K, I concur. You will never truly outright your own properties in states. Oh yeah, and I feel you guys. I really feel for that. And even here in Poland, I see even just to own the grave, you have to pay for it. Man, there's some things for me. It's very hard to take in. Really, I can't take in. When I think about it, it cracks my mind. Brenda says, being from US, I can buy land with someone who lives in Africa. Yes, you can buy land with somebody who lives in Africa, either via he can be your trustee. You can buy the land as a company. You can own the company with that person and own the land, or you can also buy land on your own name under free leasehold for 99 years, and your family could take it over from there. Kelly just answered the question. Okay, I'm here. I'm answering. Okay, people. Okay, this RNM. I talked about this question. Taxes. I talked about this. I heard about this one for Black Americans coming to Africa to become citizens right away. Maybe not in Kenya. Is it Senegal where if you have ancestry?
That's Sierra Leone. Sierra
Sierra
Leone,
Leone.
if you can prove
Yes, you have
ancestry.
even some percentage. I don't know, even one. I think you can get citizenship. So even places like Ghana, where the very process is welcoming, there's still a process. Oh yes, even in Kenya, I think even if they make it welcoming, there will be a process which is also, remember RNM. The process is also similar to citizens, because there has to be a process of owning everything. It's not only for foreigners but everyone, and it's good for you. It's good for the government too, and also good for maybe everyone around you who will be living, because somebody would come and claim your land because you don't have papers to that document to that land.
Good point.
Rosa Jackson, that was good for Kenyan government to take steps to ensure amenities are financially affordable. Yes. The government tried reducing the prices to entice Kenyans to visit their own country. You remember, Kufu, I think you've gone to Kenya and you have seen some people. They have never even they hear stories about Nairobi. They've never been to Nairobi, and they never have some plans to go to Nairobi. But right now, that was before. You said you are in Kenya 15 years, so that was before. But right now, Kenya's okay. They're moving. But before, it was very hard. Even people from my own community, even moving abroad, like me, I'm just moved abroad. It's like if my grandfather comes alive and today sees that I moved abroad, okay, my father was supposed to go to India and my grandfather was supporting. But if it was my great grandfather who died in 1940, he'll be shocked, because if you are going abroad, you are going to go fight in the World War II, because there are people who were taken from Kenya to go and fight in World War II, and that was the only time people went out of the country. So Ache, that's really mutual beneficial for husband and wife. Oh yes. It is. He talked about citizenship, I think. Steve E. Brenda, better buy land and build at your own pace. Oh yes, in Kenya, Now, that's another thing I also notice in Kenya and other countries, or maybe Africa and other countries. In Kenya, you can build your land, you can build your house even for 20 years. Nobody cares. As long as you go and make, like, if like you, okay, let's say, for example, if today Maigno decides to stop at that place where his land, his house is, no one will ask him anything, because you it's a very weird concept, and many Kenyans can build that home, like where Mayugno can build that structure and not even plaster, and live inside without even windows on. Just maybe put windows and continue living. I think, Kunfu, you have seen this. If you went to Kenya, you've
Yes.
seen these people going to living a semi finished house.
Yeah.
The houses just have windows and door and no plaster, and people live, and they continue just making slowly until they finish. And also the same as land. Sometimes if you're buying land from somebody, you can, and you've checked the land and everything, you're satisfied, or you know this person. Like if you are my neighbor and you saw me going broke and I needed money, you could buy my land. So you maybe give me money today, little. We write each other on paper, or we go to the lawyer and say, I give this guy this amount of money, and continue like that until we finish paying for the land. I think Uncle Mo said this. He said he bought the land from somebody on slow pace. Rosa Jackson said, Brenda, is that process called right of adopt or something to that effect true for Ghana? I didn't know about that. I don't. Did you understand that? Right.
I'm not aware of it.
Yes, I'm not aware of that also. True for Ghana. Okay. Maybe he talked about the process. I don't know about Kenya. A lot of things about Ghana. Era name called Gota Lala. My parting words: be aware that a lot of land in rural hasn't been official survey and title deeds issued, and always work on retrievable real estate advocate. Yes, true. Most of the land are either in rural areas. Most of the land are either still on communal land, and another could be owned by companies, because when the British left, many people opened companies to buy land in groups. It's not, I don't think it's in this website. Like where we have land in Nakuru, the land was owned by Belba Farm Limited. My great grandfather was the chairman of that company for some time. He was the founder, and for some time he became the chairman. And they bought about 3,000 acres, I think. And then you had to add some shares, and the shares was somehow calculated towards how many acres you will get if you have high shares, you get a bigger land. And that's how people bought land, some of it. So in some land like that, you have to first get the land title deed from Belba. Now, if we needed the title deed, we had to go to Belba Farm Limited, break that title deed. That was, I think it was bought in 1975. That's when this company was buying the land from the Kenyan. I don't know. I think it was owned by one British man. I forgot his name. And when they bought it, so we had to, if you want to get your title deed on your name, you have to go to Belba Limited and present your share certificate, and they allocate you the land, and they subdivide it and go to the land registry office and do the due process and make the title deed onto your name. And also, he said you have to work with reputable estate advocates. So what it means that you have to be very, very careful, because land cases are becoming a lot in Kenya because of the structure that was there before. Somehow it makes it easier to be conned, or let's say scammed. You could be easily scammed on a land deal. It could look very genuine, and even people have gone to an extent. I'm not saying this should be promoted, but some people have gone to an extent even to manufacture a title deed that is a duplicate of it, and even have the documents at the registry office. And that is why I said, if you're going to buy land, do also a land survey. Go there to the land, meet the people who live there, and not only once, many times. You have to go there many times, confirm that this land belongs to this person. And also the advocate should be there to help you, because he can find the discrepancies that were, sometimes people are not too smart. It might look smart, but not very smart. And this is the work of the advocates. They can help you in a big way. And Rosa Jackson said, because Kenya is more developed than surrounding East Africa, there will be more large influx into Kenya. Oh yes. There is that for sure is. And it's not only about develop. I think also a lot of people find Kenya to be stable. I don't know, literacy level, not only development. I think Kenya has just an upper hand. I don't know. Maybe it's the way the system that of government was. We took a capitalist system, so I don't know if that that made us to be looked developed, because it's easy to go to a Kenyan village and find a lot of people speaking in English. You can go to a village and speak in English to anybody. Okay. Good night. Let's go. Good night too. Yes. Brenda says yes in Ghana. Brenda says, RNM, good night. One question: are you married? Me or Kufu Fanta? Kufu Fanta is married. Me, not yet. Rosa Jackson, Tanzania does not even grant dual citizenship, for my understanding. I'm not sure, but Kenya does. Kenya does. You could be, you could still have your citizenship from your country and become a citizen of Kenya, and they have nothing against that. They really support it. Kele, I need land, and I'm not being funny. Brenda, okay, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. In terms of, I give you free land, or you want to buy land from, I help you buy land. A lot of America have moved to Ghana and bought land. Yes, and I see a lot of, I don't know what is the process, because I see some Americans are complaining that the land were bought has some problem. In Kenya, if land was, and that is that's the interesting part. The government has a way of guaranteeing, if the government issues you a title deed, and that title deed has been duplicated and somebody tried to sell it, the government guarantees you a return back of your land. So you can go to court. It might take years, but you will still get your land. It's not easy to get to corrupt somebody's land in Kenya. You can, but it's just for scamming only. But the real ownership, the country knows who's the owner of the land. They really know. Even if it's the people working in the registry office do that stupid mistake, which can happen, and it has happened many times, you can go and sue the government, and the government can pay you, and that makes the land to be protected, because if the government is to take responsibility, again the government tries to protect such scams to happen. And then please guys, hit the like button if you are just joining. Like I see Elsa is just joining. Good morning.
Also want to point out real quick, I haven't had a conversation probably in a year about Ghana, but Ghana is not exactly, but very similar to Kenya. They do have the freehold leasehold system, so it works the same way. But I think in Ghana, if I remember, they have a 50-year and a 99-year for the leasehold. And there was a situation that happened over there where the government took back some leasehold land that the people didn't pay up at the end of the term. So I think that was the 50-year plan that they had, and there was a bunch of people getting angry over the internet over that. But the thing is that the people that were leasing the land didn't hold up to their end of the bargain. So when the government came in with their bulldozers and stuff like that, a lot of people were complaining, said that the government here doesn't protect us or anything like that. This leasehold doesn't mean anything. And what plainly was is that they didn't hold up their end of the deal. So that's why the government came in. And took back the land. They didn't pay up. So that you have to be very, very careful about that, because that would happen in Kenya the same way. When that would happen in Tanzania, and nobody there citizens included, can own land. It's all leasehold. So when it's time to pay up, you got to pay up no matter who you are. Go ahead.
And we have a property in the city of Mombasa, and when we bought the land, some mistakes was done. Some documents were not factored in. So my father has been really struggling to get it, and it was just some small error, just one document. It was clearance from I don't know, it was a clearance document, and this almost costed us losing the land in Mombasa. But because the government, I don't know, I think it will not last for long, but it maybe in future it might be risky for this, because we stayed with the land for about 10 years. We've been paying the taxes, but we have taxes from 1992 from the previous owner. So on our land, we were being asked to pay 3 million, and my dad bought the house 3 million. So right now the house is costing about 30 million Kenya shillings, and it was like they want to take our land. So I was really frustrated, and that's why I got myself into this business of real estate, to understand everything about transfers and everything. And I came in handy to help my dad. I encouraged him, and we found the clearance, and they just removed the penalties from before. And they still, even today, people who have the penalty even over 30 years, even the former president is being asked to pay land rates. So in Kenya, somehow, if you want to take somebody land, it can be politically instigated, and sometimes government find it hard to pursue people land. So yes, in law it is, but I don't know in terms of how people react. The government sometimes doesn't decide to take land from people. And also right now, every county government, when the new governor comes in, he wants to please people, so he gives everyone waiver for 100%. So you just pay, instead of paying the penalty and the taxes, you just pay the taxes that is it's supposed to be paid. So like in Nakuru, the former governor had 100, and then he moved to 60, 40, 80, and then to 60, I think, if I remember. And the new government came in, and they gave again 100% waiver. So if you had not paid before, you can still pay. So let me first try. Let's see if we have other questions. We answer, then we can go to land use change in Kenya and what all that is all about. Thank you, Mr. Nice and Kele, for the chat, and very educational. Yes, we are trying so much to help everyone. If you are watching this in future, if you have any questions, you can put your questions in this. I will answer, or Kung Fu Fanta will answer you, or he will direct me to give you an answer for this. Nyabansa has interesting possibilities. That is where I will want to invest. And it's not even actually Nyabohanse alone. Actually, it's very many places in Kenya. They've just only talked about Nyabohanse. If you see where I come from, maybe Kung Fu Fanta, maybe put Kericho County. They see what Kericho has to offer, because you could have land, but there's land that is more attractive. You have better money for that land. They do not only look back to the land, they just demolish the dwellings. Oh yeah, that's sad. I feel that for people. Higher Basi, real issues, real people. Let's go. I have to go to sleep. Rewatch. And okay, thank you for coming in. You can rewatch later, KW. Thank you, KW. Okay, I bought a piece of land last year, and I found the process very easy. I got the title deed very quickly. Yes, that's what I said. Long time it used to be 6 months, but now, and even though the government wants to make it like in Kenya right now, they already streamline. If you want to buy a vehicle, you need to have that person who is selling you the vehicle come with this eCitizen platform. eCitizen is the government website. It's like a digital identification. So you can log in, all of you. You have to log in, the both of you, on the application, and transfer from that owner, the previous owner, to you. And all the time you have the IDs. So it's because he cannot transfer you a car that is this is the website. You can log into this even if you're a foreigner. You can log into this when you're booking your visas to go to Kenya. You can book to this, and I think you go to you see apply for passport. This is for Kenyan. Apply for driver. This is for Kenyan. File your tax if you're a Kenyan or a foreigner. Apply for birth. That's for Kenyan. Good conduct. Also, even if you're a foreigner, could apply. And also now the government introduced this new one. This one you had passed the third last. Save for affordable housing. This one, this one. This is a new program that government has introduced. You could, Bomayangu. It's called Bomayangu. Bomayangu. It says my homestead. So the government is building homes for Kenyan citizen. You could pay as low as 200 Kenyan shillings. This is about $1.80. You can imagine the government is enticing Kenyans to put money into this, and now it's becoming a big topic because the people who are employed in the private sector and the public sector are now paying 1.5 for this amount. And you see the requirements. You have to be having a national you see now this is where the problem it looks very nice product, but it's meant for citizens. You have to be 18 years, and you could apply for this, and you can register it even with the USSD code. You can just do it from your phone, pay with the M-Pesa, and you're good to go. You see, it's here. Save 200, minimum of 200. This is about $1.8, and you can get a studio and you, instead of paying rent, because the program is that before, instead of paying rent, you can pay for this money in terms of rent, but it at the long run, maybe after 10 years or 15, the house will be yours completely. Maybe what you'll pay maybe is service charge because it's a flat, yeah? Maybe 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, whatever the house you have. And you see, for me as a Kenyan who is living in the diaspora, I could apply for it. Local homeowners application. We have all different types of entries. So for me, as a diaspora home applicant, maybe I'll be paying more, and maybe they will be suggesting me to do. And you can also buy this house in terms of groups. Maybe you're not that you're doing it. You can buy with your friends and rent it out, maybe a BNB, to generate more money so that you can go to the second and everyone will own a house. And also you can buy property as a developer, as an SME, as a financial or investor. Now this is where foreigners can come in, and this is maybe where the Chinese have tapped into, buying as a financer or in a partner or something. So yeah, they're saying it's coming soon. All these are coming soon. So I don't know, maybe they're still formulating the process. So what was I talking about? E-Citizen, the car. Oh yeah, that's the house. Oh, you already put it up. You see, as low as 1.2 million. And this is in Mtwapa. This is a 3-bedroom. I think I should buy this. Oh yeah, man, this looks nice. 3-bedroom in Mtwapa. It is. Where is this? I will look at this website later.
Oh yeah. I think I saw this on a video recently.
That's
strange that I'm gonna find it right here on this website.
Man, that's cheap. 2.5 for 3-bedroom. Or is it? Oh, it starts from 1.25 from 1 bedroom. Okay, yes. Okay. Maybe it could be 3 million.
But this one is very close to the beach.
Yeah, very close. This is, and you can imagine upstairs you have the sea view. Oh man. Okay, I just think the government is trying something for us. Oh, and this one is already ready. This Buxton, the houses are already built.
Yep.
So when I talked about the e-Citizen, you can log into e-Citizen and you find the place where it's called Teams. Go down on this website. Yes, NTSA. The NTSA is for National Safety, Transport and Safety Authority. When you're applying for driver license, and I think also just go down. I think there's Teams. There should be Teams. No. Now this is county governments. Just go up. I think just click on NTSA. Yes, this one, new one. I think you should go to this. Is it this one? No. You have to log in your account. Okay. I will Just we can check because there's something known as teams. Now the teams is it's the place where you can change the ownership from you to another person.
I just clicked on view all agencies. So that wasn't all agencies that we're looking at. Now we're on all agencies.
And the BRS, this is where you can register business. Capital, this is market authority. There's licensing board for betting. There's communication authority. There's immigration. When you are applying for visa, you go to this immigration. This is where I was talking about. Yes, immigration. Immigration services, new applicants. No. Yeah, I think the new one. You can go to this one, and then all these universities, county governments, they are now trying to put all the government services in one website. You can imagine, even the national television, KBC, where our brother.
I know people who work here, so.
Yes. This Kenya Airports Authority. The Kenya Airports Authority are are managing all the airports in Kenya. That's the body that manages.
Well, they got a lot of stuff here.
They got a lot of stuff because the government now is trying to put all institutions.
Like I heard them talking about it a long time ago. I just never came here to look at it.
Yes. And this one down here is Kenya Ports Authority. That's where my dad works. He's about to retire though. Yeah. This is the harbor of Kenya. The ports.
Kenya Revenue Authority is there.
Kenya Revenue. That's the tax office.
Yep.
And then there's a school TVET. This one, Kenya School of TVETs. Under School of Law. Yeah, the second one. No, just below. Yeah, that's it. This is a school where Mayugino could attend and go and learn anything. Maybe carpentry, masonry, electrician, pediatrician, any course. This is like not a university, it's like a college. And also Kenya Medical, all these. So you maybe we will put this link for the website, because today we are just talking about land issues. So we'll put this. I was trying to show you how Kenya people now are doing stuff, and now even in Kenya they're trying to make it paperless. So with also this transfers of land, cars, anything, they want to put it on the website so that it will be easier to reduce the scam. So it's a good way to go for Kenya. It's a really good way to go for Kenya. So I don't know if there's another question on regarding what we were talking today, because
here's KICC that I mentioned earlier. So if you look at the logo, that's that building. And just for like, if you want to get a good view for your camera, you just go at the top of this building, you just pay a few dollars, like $5 or less, and you get to go at the top. That's a very iconic, that's the most iconic building in East Africa. So, but that's a government organization now.
Yes, I see somebody asking Lucy. Yes, Lucy, when did you get your title? How long did it take you to get a title? 1 month, 2 weeks?
Oh, they really do have everything in here.
Yeah, Nakada. Oh, NEMA. This is a very nice. If you're buying land, also this is a very good office you need to know about. NEMA. It's NEMA is National Environmental Management Authority. Do you know even when you're constructing, you need a clearance from them? NEMA, and then there's National Construction Authority. I don't know. You should be here.
Yeah, it's not working right now.
No, I'm just talking about another website.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, let me go ahead and share it again. Just a moment. All right, you see it now, right?
Yes, there's National Construction NCA.
Did I pass it?
Just continue. Oh, another. I think we have to do many, because we have to do a lot of. Maybe I think we can just leave it for now.
Okay.
It's not important right now, but we can always go back to, because there's a lot of information about Kenya which I can come on board and we can discuss about it.
Right.
Yeah, we can discuss
I mean,
about
it's a huge website. I remember when they first came out with the website, it wasn't that big, but now it's grown
yes.
immensely.
And it's really hard to last month somebody tried to crack it, but it couldn't even fail.
Okay. Did you?
Yeah.
Was anybody else asking any questions in there in the chat?
Before we go to the next topic on regarding land. No, I don't see any question. It's about people asking Lucy how long it took. I think she left.
Okay.
It's okay.
Right.
We will find, and maybe I'll leave a comment on this video later.
So what about Wikipedia? Because you sent that to me before we got started. What's on Wikipedia?
So there's also, I wanted to talk about these types of land that is protected in Kenya. Just as other countries, we have the State House, where the office of the president is. Before you scroll, where the office of the president is, the army area, and water bodies. The coastline of Kenya is protected. Now it is owned by there's something they are creating something like blue economy something. It's under that I think Blue Economy Authority manages that. And then there's also these national parks. These are protected areas. You cannot do anything that is of personal use. This is owned by it's like UNESCO, something like UNESCO, but in Kenyan way. Only it's for wildlife, and most cases in such areas, it's manned by Kenya Wildlife Services, KWS.
Yeah, see Savo here.
Yes, this is national parks. And then another places that I said another places that was protected is the president's office, land that is owned by government, in terms of maybe new projects. Which one? Like these places where we have hot geysers. This where we have geothermal, because Kenya has the biggest geothermal production in Africa right now. We are leading, and I think we are third in the world or something.
Isn't that within the Rift Valley?
Yes, in the Rift Valley. Yes, that place is protected in the mountains. In Tanzania, they have the Ngorongoro. As we have the Menengai. The Menengai is also protected. It's like a dome shaped. It's a hill, and then with a carving inside. So such areas are protected by government. You cannot do anything. You will just admire and also parks in the city. Know that there are people known as there's one woman who is mentioned everywhere, and she was the first Nobel Woman Prize in Africa.
Yeah, I know. Yes, she passed away. I think it was like 8 years ago.
No, it passed when the other government was there, before government was there. So
I know she passed away though.
Yeah, she passed over. I think over 15 years right now. I think, and she was buried in a decomposable coffin, just made from reeds.
Yeah, she did a lot. She planted over 1 million trees. I remember that.
Yes, and she was the owner of a green movement.
Yes,
and also, apart from her being given the first what's the word that she was given?
Well, she was the first
Nobel
Peace Prize winner out of Africa as a woman. I believe that was the title.
And why she was given that? She fought a ruthless president by the name Daniel Moi to have what you are seeing right now, a big land in the middle of the city, empty for people to just use. She was part and parcel of that.
The Uhuru Kenyatta Freedom Park?
No, it's Uhuru. It's called Uhuru Park.
Yeah, Uhuru Park. Yeah.
Yes, Uhuru Park. So Uhuru Park was protected by her, and if you happen to go to Kenya, there's a place called Karura Forest. It's a beautiful forest with waterfall, with now the water is clean. It used to be not clean long time. The water is clean. There's caves there where the Mau Mau, when people are fighting for Kenyan freedom during the British times, were hiding there. Right now, it's a beautiful forest. People are going to ride bicycles. People are doing nature walks. So there's no animals inside, but birds, something like maybe lizards, chameleon, little bit of snakes, one there. That's not harmful, because if they're harmful, the Kenya WS take them to snake park or take them to the park. So, and then which other place she fought for? She was even hurt. There's some news you will see. She's bleeding, and she's still saying, "I'm not going to hospital, but I have to make sure this place. If I'm to die, let me die today. But this place has to remain green." She was really part of Kenyan green. Whatever they're doing today about talking about green, it's always going back to that woman. She still has that place. So these are places which is protected by Kenyan government. Also Masai Mara, yes. And Masai Mara is adjacently to Serengeti National Park at the border, where it's there. We have the red dot. Yeah, where you have the red dot, that's the Masai Mara area. The dot just disappeared. Yes, where that you're seeing the boundary of Kenya and Tanzania. So in Tanzania, there's Serengeti National Park. In Kenya, we have Masai National Park, Masai Mara National Park, and there's a river there called Mara River. In that Mara River, that's where all the magic people come to watch from there about May to around this time. I think until now, the animals are crossing to Tanzania.
Yeah, for the Great Migration and
the Great Migration. The zebras are being caught by the crocodiles. Yeah, they cross, and we have a very spectacular flow of animals just moving. You can imagine animals in their millions just moving alone. No one tells them. And also, I think we can talk about Maasai land use on another podcast, because I have something very interesting to share about Maasai land use. Maasai were the first people to know how to use the land. No wonder in Kenya we have Maasais in the north, in the south, in Tanzania. There's a history towards that.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we will talk about. I will create a new. We will create a new topic for this Maasai land use. They're the first Africans. People talk about Africans being illiterate, but these were the first people to identify how to maintain the land to be green for all the years. Because before that, other African tribes or other African people, apart from Maasais and maybe some people from Kenya, who are using land badly. And these are the people I will discuss in another live about how they were using the land, and I will share everything about what I learned about them. Yeah, this is a different type of zebra. I know people have never seen this. This is called the gravy zebra. It's protected. Actually, this is a protected animal. It's almost becoming. They're in the thousands, but they're not many.
Yeah, there's another species in the Cape in South Africa that's endangered as well. It's very unique. Instead of the stripes being black, their stripes are more brown, and they're like unique to that area.
Yes, and also there is three types of giraffes, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Because people think it's just one type, but the animals change. The same as the rhinoceros and everything. The wild beast migration is spectacular. Yes, true. I would love to build a nice hotel with 3 or 4 people as an investor. Brenda, if you want to build a nice hotel where there's business, Masai Mara will be good. But you being a foreigner, I don't know how it will be, because yes, Wangari Maathai was a Kenyan environmentalist. So back to Brenda. I will prefer Masai Mara, because the business is already there. And also, I may prefer, I'm also looking into Nyanyuki. So Nyanyuki, we have the last white rhinoceros buried there. So this is, what's the name of this? Olpejeta.
Oleje Pajeta. I think it's
Olpejeta.
Olpejeta, yeah.
Yes, and apart from that, there are other places, like in Kitale, we have a different type of antelope that I think it's only in this area in the world. They live in the swamps, and somehow I was told they breed from the swamps. So there's some places they are very good, but not marketed, not known. So maybe investing in such areas will be better for you, because you get a good price and you'll have an upper edge of you can advertise that in America. You can create an office for that, and you advertise people coming to Kenya to see your place and stay in your place, and you make your money out of that. I think that would be better, because it will be cheaper for running cost, managing, buying, and controlling the place. But places like Masai Mara, if the owner of what's the name of this British guy who owns an airline, Virgin Airlines?
Yeah, I know you talk about Richard
Yeah.
something. Richard.
Yeah,
he's got
Richard
that
Branson.
blonde hair.
Yes,
Long blonde hair.
he owns a beautiful hotel there in the Mara. So you can imagine whom you'll be competing with.
I want to say Richard Branson for some reason.
Is it Richard Branson? I think so.
I'm looking right now. You got me thinking. Yeah, it is Richard Branson.
Yeah, the owner of Virgin. You can imagine if the owner of Virgin Airlines owns a hotel there, and that's sad that people think Africa is poor, but some other people see differently and invest in Kenya or maybe another African country. Thanks for the master's class. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. This is actually what we are trying to. Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah. Basically, me and KLA for the past few live streams, we've been trying to come up with different concepts on things to react to, basically given information. And this is like one of the ideas. So talking about this, and he's already come up with some other ideas, like talking about the Mara, and particularly that. So we haven't gotten to that point yet, but we definitely want to do more stuff like this, so more information gets out there, and then more people can get the information that they actually need instead of just depending on hearsay. And I really appreciate KLA when you came out in the front, said, basically you being very transparent that I'm not how did you say it, that I'm not
I'm not qualified
right to sell land or whatever in Kenya, but you used to do that.
Yes.
So yeah, I appreciate that. And we're going to keep doing this, guys. We're going to keep doing this, and definitely check out his channel if you haven't done so already. And check out the stuff he's doing in Poland. But yeah, go ahead and pick up where I left before I interrupted you.
Yeah. So Ashe says this is huge resources, a lot to digest. Yeah, for sure. We will share a lot. Keep on staying with us. The both of us will be sharing a lot. Maybe sometime later we'll be going to my channel, but for now it will be at Kung Fu Fanta, and we will try as much to give good vibes and not act bossy or we know everything. We are here. If you see us saying anything that is not right, just please correct us. We are going to take it in positively, and I will try as much as possible to be going on the comment section to be seeing who is commenting. If there will be a question, you can put your question there later. I will come in, or Kufu will come in, or Kufu will let me know, and we will give you the right answer on what we think is right, according to what you want from this topic you will be discussing in every discussion that we'll be having. I was totally ignorant of the vastness of Kenya. Oh yeah. And Ache, do you know Kenya is a very interesting country? During the month of June, Kenya gets cold. Like it could go to 9 degrees in the city of Nairobi. When it was in 2017, when I was in Kenya, one night it was 9 degrees. We were even freezing outside, and we were wondering why is it so cold. But when we checked the temperature, we were shocked. And not only Kenya, in the city, in Mount Kenya area, where the current deputy president stays, that is Nyeri. next to the mountain. It goes even to -1. There's even there's even a British. Is it the? I think it's the royal family that was staying there. The royal family. I don't know. I think it was Queen Elizabeth. Yes. And it's interesting. I don't know, Kunfu. You do know that King George IV was living in Meru.
I've heard
Once
something.
you
I
that.
heard something about that, but
Yes, during the
let's
World
see.
War II, he came to
Okay,
hide in Kenya.
I didn't know, but I
Yes,
do know that let's see, not Prince Harry, but the other one, the older
no,
brother.
it was King George the
No,
Fourth.
no. I'm talking about the guys that are alive right now. Not Prince Harry, his older brother. What's his name?
William.
William.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know his wife was born and raised in Kenya.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. They do because they lived somewhere between Nanyuki and Meru.
Ah,
Her father owned, you know, because in that area they grow some wheat,
oh
so
yes, 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 yes,
they had wheat farms. So her
yes.
family grew wheat, but she was born there in Kenya.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's
so before they got married, when I was there, it was a big thing. You know, everybody was talking about our fellow Kenyan because everybody was calling her our fellow Kenyan is going to go to England and be the you know, probably going to be the queen someday. You know, when that time
yes, yes.
comes. You know, so
And also the prime minister right now, the father was born in Kenya. He was a Kenyan. He's Indian, but you know,
yeah, that I didn't know. I didn't know
yeah.
that.
They likewise too, and every Kenyan take pride in that when they know somebody who was just even 1% blood and is doing a greater something in the world. It makes them Kenyan. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of vastness, and during that time, during this month of June and July in Nairobi, in the central area of Kenya, it can become very cold. At the same time, at the city of Mombasa is warm. In the northern part of Kenya, it's even hot. You just imagine flying 45 minutes. You're in winter and you're just going to a summer place or maybe spring. Let's say it's spring. Yeah, right now it's 17 degrees. It's a good weather. And check Mombasa. It should be around
Right.
28. This
Yeah,
is the
there's a sharp contrast in weather between the two cities.
yes.
Let's see.
Actually,
Yeah,
I
right
think it's
there.
just like the states. Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, it
The
depends on where
south
you're
and
at. If you're
yeah,
in Southern California, it's going to be
yeah.
hot throughout the
All of
year.
that.
But if you go to the Bay Area, it's not
Yes.
hot throughout the year. But in San Francisco, it's cold most of the year. But if you
Mhm.
could just go over the bay to the East Bay and you
Yeah.
go a little bit past Oakland, further south in the South Bay, getting close to, you don't even have to go to San Jose. The weather dramatically changes.
Yes. 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 So you could see today could be 30 degrees.
Yeah, so
See, around
that's a big difference right there.
there's a big difference.
Yeah, and Americans they deal with Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So it's
Yes. Yes.
you just have to convert that.
Mhm.
I think there's a conversion tool on here, I'm sure, but
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah, you
I,
could convert for our brothers from the states to understand.
I don't know where it is. I'd never come to this website really,
But
so I'm not sure where to click.
but that will be about is it 70?
Probably around there, but
Yeah.
actually, let me just do it right here. Like, what is it? Fahrenheit. Convert.
Oh yeah, it's up there. It's up there.
Oh, you see it
Yeah, the button just in English, Canadian. No, up the tabs.
right
They are
here.
the yes,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Thank you. There you
Oh yeah,
go.
77.
You're
Yeah, I was right.
close. You're close. Yeah.
I was close. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And Nairobi, it'll be that's sorry down there. In just Nairobi City, up the first one. Yeah. Oh yeah, 61. That's
Yeah,
a
where I'm at right now, that's about what the
79.
temperature is outside.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So
I mean,
that is a big difference. I mean,
yes,
you're looking at 16 degrees and it's summertime over here. That's a very big difference.
yes, yes, yes.
Therefore In Mombasa, there's usually we just got out of a flood in Mombasa. What was that? Over a month ago?
Yes,
It
a month.
lasted for about a month. Is
Mhm.
that usually the time of year when Mombasa has heavy rains?
Yes, that's the time when we have heavy rains.
But it's still warm when it rains.
And it's still warm. You can actually walk in that rain.
Yeah.
It's not cold water, rain or something like me. And also another contrast, during the day it gets hotter, and at night it's cold. It should be more chillier than during the day. During at night, you could see today from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's 79, and tonight will be from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. It's 59. It's about 20 degrees difference, 20 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, the Queen is here. The Queen says it's morning in South Africa and Rosa is going to sleep.
Oh,
Yeah, because Rosa's in Florida, but Rosa should be getting some sunshine here pretty quick in about 3 hours. Well, 4 hours. All right. Oh, so Rosa already went away. Okay, so she had to go to sleep. But yeah. Unless anybody else has any questions, I think that pretty much wraps it up for today. I think we covered a lot today. Thank you very
no,
much for doing that.
we have not finished. We have not finished land use.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, land use.
Okay, well let me
End of
share
land
this
use.
one.
Yeah, this one.
We just got carried away.
Oh yeah, it gets so. Land use. I will before even opening this, I will just go to what I know. Land use. There are land that could be for farming. There's land that could be for townships, like little place where we have centers, and there's some that is just for farming. It is meant for farming. The government recognize it for farming, and there's some places where it's for residential township, like I don't know, like town, small center. So there's this kind of structure of way land is being meant. So if like in the area of Nyabwanse, that could be for farm use. But if you want to build city center like Nyabwanse Center, if you want to create something like that, you have to go to government offices, that is NEMA. You have to go to the registry. You have to go to the county government, ask to change the land use from farm use to commercial. Yeah, that's the word, commercial use. So with commercial use, it has to be when you go to the government to do these amendments to change the use, you have to go to NEMA. NEMA has to approve that, and that means your neighbor have to agree that you're doing a commercial. Let's say, for example, what David is building is trying to build a flat. So David Jr. from Nyabohanse. So if he's trying to build that and that was in his home, not in the center, he will need to go convert that to the land use to a commercial. He's gonna create that. So now the government, the Kenya Revenue Authority, will pick up on that, because stamp duty will be paid and the KRA will be notified that there is business happening on this land. So anytime the KRA has the law permits it to authoritate, to look into that land, what is happening, are the taxes being paid, what are the incomes. And funny enough, in Kenya, some people try as much as possible to not pay these taxes, and most times nothing happens. But the problem is scary. When with years to come, if you do not fight, you have that grace period. But if the government catches up with you, you could pay a heavy fine. So you have to note that in Kenya, some people will tell you don't pay taxes, and that's a very valuable. It's apart from this information we are talking about, but I will add that as a valuable information. If somebody tells you not to pay taxes, please be very, very careful. You do not know that person who is telling you to avoid. Yes,
Right.
you could avoid maybe for 1-2 years and then pay it. You are lucky. The government, if some people go 5 years. Yes, it can be, but you never know. Maybe I might be lying to you that don't pay, and I go report you to the government, and the government with it. Maybe this government is my. I'm not saying this is what happens, but it's a likelihood. maybe this person working in the government is my cousin, is my brother. I go report you to my brother, and my brother puts you a heavy fine, and you find it so difficult, and I tell you, okay, I know my brother, let me go talk to him. Or I tell you, I know this guy, maybe it's somebody I'm working together, and maybe they're trying to corner you, scam you. Actually, that's the word, if I may say. So if you're a foreigner, please be careful. Taxes are not very much high, and even if you have a problem of paying, you can visit that office, just to present your case, and I'm for sure 100% the tax office will be really ready to help you, because the motto of the tax office is tulipe ushuru tujitegemee. Let's pay our taxes so that we can depend on ourselves. So with that term, as a tax body, it means they are very welcoming. They should be very welcoming. If you find somebody rude, that's a wrong person in that office, sorry to say. If somebody you are working from the tax office and you are doing such kind of behavior, please stop. It's not helping the government. Just encourage people to pay the taxes. Even the government right now is trying to empower people to pay the taxes. And
Here's a question.
yeah, it's so that's a very. Oh, you have a question. Where do you live on your farmland and sell produce? Does it have to have to commission? No. Yes, Ashe, like me, we have farmland. So with the farmland, we can buy everything. Actually, even some people come to the farmland and find you growing some stuff, and they tell you, when you want to harvest, please let us know. Or when they know the time of harvest arrives, they just come. But sometimes those people who come to the farm, they tend to buy cheap from you, and if you're not careful, you could not make a lot of money. You cannot make a lot of money from this kind of transaction.
Yeah, and another thing too, my wife did it for years. She still does it from time to time, is diversifying income. So like certain times of the year, outside of the business, when it gets slow, she might go to Kisii, buy a bunch of avocados, and then sell them in the city of Nairobi. Another time she might go to Mombasa, buy coconuts, and bring them to the city of Nairobi. So it's like diversifying throughout the year when certain types of crops are more popular. That's something to do. Also, pineapples in a town called what is it? Thika. Yeah, I know. There's like 3 weeks out of the year she goes there to Thika, and brings those pineapples back to Nairobi. And so it's like when you talk about making income and stuff like that, like you could still do part of that, artist. You could still do part of that, and also with that, you can diversify who you sell to. So you could do a little bit of selling locally, but you're not going to make much money, like you're saying. But depending on how much produce you actually produce, you can sell to some of the local markets and make more money.
And such businesses, people don't pay taxes. Not that the taxes are not supposed to be paid, but the government has even people who have a lot of money from farm, like people even rear chicken, and they don't pay taxes. But the problem comes whereby if the money is that big, and the government sees you are receiving a lot of money and you're not paying taxes, you are filing in, because in Kenya you can file in nil returns, like you do not make anything that year. It's allowed by law. But if you're filing in nil returns, and for maybe 10 years government sees you deposit every month 200,000, trust me, you might have a serious problem with the tax office later. So that's about it. If you're doing a small farming, and mostly such money go to school fees, so it's not easy to detect. Some people just have the money on hand and go and pay school fees for their kids, and maybe buy a car. Yeah. So what are the factors affecting land use in Kenya? Population, social, cultural, economic, and historical factors, and also ecological. Yes. What can affect you? Because in Kenya, there's law next to the water bodies is not allowed to farm, or even you could be the owner as a custodian, because I have one land that is touching the water. Me and my brothers, we own that land. It was given to us by my father, so we own that land. It touches the water, so the title deed shows we still own that part of the river, the land to the river, but we cannot. There's some meters we cannot farm to. People farm. The problem is that in Kenya we have law, but people don't actually follow. And the law is not even actually punishing anyone. It is to help the environment, to help us, our environment from degrading. Because if you farm next to the river, you have the topsoil going away to the flooded, maybe flooding, or due to raining, the soil is washed away to the river, and that could be really sad. And sometimes, like if I go to Kenya, I will show you. I lost some part of the land to the river. We have something like an island, and people joke around because we come from Mombasa, where it's an island. People tell us this is the African mindset, that this shows that you are coming from a town that is in an island. So it was just a joke, but it's about land being eroded because there's no tree at that area. And power cuts in Kenya, we have less power cuts in Kenya. It happened. Is it 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago? We had power cut for about 2 days straight.
Yeah, well, it was like a 14-hour straight brownout,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
people in Nairobi are telling me like most of Kenya was out, but after it's been restored, it's like people are telling me that now in Nairobi, it's going off and on, off and on. So to me, it kind of seems like when that brownout happened, something got damaged somewhere.
Yeah, some cables got damaged because it was a technical area on the line, on the lines, just giving power to Kenya, because they have the windmill in Turkana power windmill. This line, I think, was introduced to the national grid, and I think it cost some charge because this power from the windmill, so it can be up and down. Yes, so I think it costs some surcharge, so they need to regulate. It's a new power plant, so it affected it messed the whole lines in the country. And also Uganda, I think nowadays they're supplying power on request. It used to be constant from Jinja, but right now it's like Kenya has a lot of power, so they're trying to they're buying. Kenya is buying power on request. It's a request line. When we have low water, so we request for the power to be on.
Okay. Did you want to do any more on this last website?
I talked about how to change the land use. Yes, so I think this is we done about this.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, we're getting close to 2 hours. It looks like some people are getting a little sleepy in the chat.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a little sleepy. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks again, KLA, for coming back. Again, everybody, just go and check him out. And so I'm not going to rush like the last time. I will say that I am Mr. Nice, and this is the Kung Fu Fanta show. And on that note, everybody, thanks again for being here. I really do appreciate it. And we'll come up, like I said, we'll come up with more topics that are probably going to be a little bit different from the usual. And it's going to be educational, because I think a lot of people want to talk about different things, like AM Carroll talked about, and as well as on Trending. People are wanting to talk about health, so they're going to bring up the health aspect conversations. Definitely go check them out when they start doing that. But we're going to come up with some interesting stuff as well. And this was basically, I requested for him to come up with a subject line. And I think the last time it was the same thing. So we're going to do this more often. It's not going to be like a daily thing. It's probably just going to be like when we have time to do it, we're going to do it then. And probably just go live right away. Probably not schedule it out and say, hey, we're going to go live in the next 3 hours and stuff like that. If at all possible, I will do that. But if not, we're just going to do it on the spur of the moment. And we're just going to ride that plane. And again, everybody, thank you. And so at this point, KLA, thank you.
Yes. I think there's one question, last question.
Okay.
actually asks about irrigation rights. So with the website that we gave you, eCitizen, you should find Kenya Kenya Irrigation Board. These are the people who are giving. They have land that is owned by government or leased to farmers, Kenyan farmers. I think also a foreigner could do that. And now that the government is looking for investors, maybe because it would be, maybe you have to maybe be a lot of people, because sometimes the money could be a lot. So this body, if they have free land, they can issue that land for irrigation. So they're the ones who give the rights. And also, if you want to, if you are just buying land like me, you're buying, let's say for example, you buy land from me where I have a river. Like for me, if I go to the village, maybe when I will go to the village, I will show you. I will put up my own irrigation setup because I have the money for this. Not a big setup. I will just make tanks available, pumps, and maybe put it on power and generate my own water that will drip down to the hill, because the land is on a hill. So I can do the irrigation on my own. And there's not, if the extent, if if the government requires me to go and file for that paperwork, which is not, many people don't do it because the government don't even follow up. But if I'm doing that, I have to go to Warma is I think water management resource and something. It's about, it's called Warma, the office. So if I want to dig a borehole, I need to go to that office to get the paper. But people still dig water boreholes, water wells, and the government doesn't follow up that, because it's better for them. I don't know. It's like the government is not following up, because at least you got water for yourself. So the government is not paying, because like when we talked about land, free leasehold land, the taxes that you pay, it's meant for street light, paper, trashes, taking out the trashes. It's meant for that, but it became, I don't know, it became expensive that the government don't do. When I was young, the government used to pick trash in the whole city of Mombasa. We had buses that were coming in like what we have in other countries. In 10 minutes, you have a bus coming, the public bus. It was called Kenya Bus Services. And later it was changed to Stagecoach from UK. A company called Stagecoach came to Kenya, invested, and we had these buses. But later, a new crop of business came up. Business people buy their own buses, and the whole history is, we will talk about it in another section about public transport with the Kufu, and I will explain more. But for today, let me end it there.
All right. So on that note, everybody, we are actually out. Thanks very much.